Hey guys, today we will be trying to say the top 10 hardest English words to pronounce. I am a native English, or whatever that means, so this will be quite easy. Worcester. Worcester? Worcester. Colonel. It's Colonel. I don't think that's how you spell Colonel. I need money. I need money. I need money. It's dismiss. I dismiss. Row. 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 Roll, 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 rural, urban, rural area, six, squirrel, mischievous, mischievous. Mischievous. It's called mischievous. Penguin. You pronounce it penguin. Cupboard. Hyperbole. The super hyperbole. Here. Let's make a super cool sentence. The mischievous squirrel in a rural Worcester sang in the choir about anemone on the isthmus right after a 6 colonel spotted a penguin hiding in the cupboard during February's hyperbole contest. Add more. In rural Rochester, a mischievous colonel argued during February about an anemone choir while a squirrel on the isthmus recited hyperbole about a 6 cupboard full of penguins. Meanwhile, the Rochester colonel whispered onomatopoeia of hunger. In rural Worcester, a mischievous colonel. In rural Worcester, a mischievous colonel argued during February about an anemone choir. Meanwhile, a squirrel on the isthmus recited hyperbole about a 6 cupboard full of penguins. Meanwhile, the Worcester colonel whispered onomatopoeia in rural Worcester, a mischievous colonel argued during February about an anemone choir while a squirrel on the isthmus recited hyperbole about a 6 cupboard full of penguins. Meanwhile, the Worcester colonel whispered onomatopoeia incorrectly, stumbled on phenomenon repeatedly, and misread paradigm as paradigm, causing chaos in the rural core. Yeah, even more. You can tell I'm getting better at grammar. Okay. In rural Rochester, a mischievous colonel was celebrated February by organizing a corps of squirrels on the isthmus, each squeaking about gnomes, cupboards, and hyperbole. The sixth penguin, naturally melodramatic, mispronounced onomatopoeia while juggling phenomena that sounded like Sishidoch. Suddenly, the colonel declared a paragamy scam, even though he pronounced it paragam, and insisted Worcestershire rhymed with furniture. Meanwhile, a rural librarian whispered mnemonic rhymes, misread epitome as epitome, and panicked at the sight of a I'm going to restart it over. In rural Rochester, a mischievous colonel celebrated February by organizing a corps of squirrels on the isthmus, each squeaking about anemones, cupboards, and hyperbole. The sixth penguin, naturally melodramatic, mispronounced onomatopoeia while juggling phenomena that sounded like Satoshi. Suddenly, the colonel declared a paragamy stish, though he pronounced it paragimhim, and insisted Worcestershire rhymed with furniture. Okay, I can pronounce furniture. Just wanted to add that for no reason. Meanwhile, a rural librarian whispered about mnemonic rhymes, misread epitome as epitome, and panicked at the sight of a sarconic corps misusing quinoa in a recipe for Worcestershire shoe. Yes. So the final part, the story. Oh no! Oh no! Guys! Okay. In rural Rochester, a rather mysterious colonel prepared for February festivities by raising a corps of squirrels to sing about anatomes growing along the isthmus. While muttering hyperbole about the cupboard he once mistaken for a phenomenon, the sixth penguin, usually unscrutatory, lectured on anatomia, but stumbled into an extended debate over the meaning of syllables, insisting that every mnemonic rhyme should be recited backwards to avoid confusion. Meanwhile, the colonel, ever confident, announced a sudden paradigm shift, though he stubbornly pronounced it paragamy, which pronounced the corps to erupt in laughter. One librarian, attempting to remain serious, whispered about epitome of errors, only to misread it aloud as epitome, and then fainted when confronted with a sexual apparition emerging from the shadows of stage. The apparition, apparently fluent in culinary terms, requested the quinoa stew with Worcester sauce, though he loudly named it as quinoa, much to everyone's horror. At that precise moment, the colonel pronounced niche as niche instead of niche, while Pasna's professor of linguistics countered with the explanation of seg, clarifying that it was pronounced segue and not seg. The penguin, now thoroughly embarrassed, attempting to distract the audience by shouting about the detritus left on stage, misusing it as detritus rather than detritus. This blunder prompted the squirrels to chant cacophony in unison, though half of them pronounced the cacophony. As the night grew stranger, a monk wandered and murmured in victory, pronounced victuals and scorned at the crowd for mocking Colonel, which sounded more like Colonel than any logical spelling could justify. The librarian, regaining composure, tried to recite a passage on draught, pronounced draft. In rural Worcester, a rather mysterious corner prepared for February festivities by raising a chorus of squirrels to sing about the anatomes, growing and announcing the answers. While muttering hyperbole about the cupboard he once mistaken for the phenomenon, the sick penguin, usually solitary, lectured to almond phobia, but summoned who accepted to play out the meaning of anecdotes, insisting that every monadic rhyme should be recited backwards to avoid confusion. Meanwhile, Dakota, every confident as the sun put around ship. Though he stubbornly pronounced the paragamy, which caused the crowd to erupt in laughter. One librarian attempted to raise Harris whispered out on the tablet of his arrows, only to misread it as epitone and then phasing when confronted with an expression emerging from the shadows of the stage. The preparation, apparently fluid and colored terms, were of colored smeared with Worcestershire sauce, although he loudly proclaimed the quintessence much of everyone's horror. At that precise moment, the colonel understood as nation while planting the sergeant of eugenics countered linguistics and countered with an expression of surge and clarified that it was supposed to segue, not seg. The penguin now floated in blood. She had his friends and the audience were shouting about the tourists off on the stage. Monsieur the trias stuttered and the tris. The thunder prompted the squirrel to continually and illusion, though half of them proudly the clacker saw me. As the night grew certain, a monk wandered into the murmuring victuals, pronounced victuals, and scolded the crowd for mocking Colonel, which sounded more like Colonel than any spelling could justify. The librarian, with great comfort, tried to recite a passage on draft, pronounced draft, but sneezed, and as he said gaw, and as gaw, in the confusion, the colonel attempted to calm the crowd by quoting the episodes of the local hero, only to mislead with essay, which escalated the chaos. By dawn, the crowd has landed, the penguin had fed with a couple of photo phenomena, and the machinist Colonel claimed victory as he continued to mispronounce every single word he had uttered. Nothing, Mom! Worcester Colonel pronounced February phenomenal, acting corresponding the as cupboard. Squirrel 6 said to have a condom in the morning. Hypermodern was come to whisper to the diary of the penguin, and because the squirrel I think I'm done for this video. See you guys.